Now in this video, I've got my assistant on the floor. It is only a doll. Please don't be worried. It looks a bit funny, but it is only a doll. You can either have a teddy on the floor, or you can get your brother, your sister, your parents and carers to be your doll if you like today. Because today we're going to be going over the recovery position. I know, the recovery position. And it's what we do to somebody that is unconscious, but they are breathing. Now, the other day on star number 2, we did the unconscious casualty who wasn't breathing. So we did CPR to that one, but this one we're going to do someone that is breathing. Okay, so we're going to recap a little bit of what we did on star 2, but we're going to also learn something new today as well, which is the recovery position. So, Ellie, are you going to help me to begin with, and then you can sit out? Okay, right, we are going to begin. Here, do you remember this? This is Doctors ABC. Do you remember this, Ellie? Ellie remembers. Hopefully you all remember as well. I need you to always remember Doctors ABC. Danger. Response. Shout for help. Open the airway. Look, listen, feel for breathing and call 999. We are not going to do CPR if they are breathing though. That's only if they're not breathing. Do you remember, Ellie? Good, I'm glad Ellie remembers. So I'm going to just put that down there. So the very first thing we need to do is check the area for danger. We need to make sure it is safe. So have a look around, Ellie. There's nothing there that's going to be dangerous to us. No. Then we're going to check for response. Remember how we did that? We're going to grab hold of the collarbone. Now, to do this, you can put your teddy on the floor to begin with, or you can get your sibling or your parents and carers on the floor. I don't mind which one you want to put there, but we can all do this together. So someone lay on the floor, teddy or doll, whatever you prefer. And then check the air for danger. Look around. Check for response. Go, hello, hello. You're going to try and wake them up. Make a big loud noise by clapping. Yeah, or give them a little bit of pain. Just a little bit, don't wake them too much. But push on this bone here, or grab hold of their ear. Go on, grab hold of their ear here. Just see if we can get them to wake up. They're not waking up, Ellie. What do we need to do? I know, I'll do it for you. Help! Help! Really shout for help, for someone to come and help you now. And then we need to open the airway. So we've done the doctors. Now A, B, C. So A for airway. So we need to open the airway. So Ellie, go over here. Thank you, Ellie. And then we need to open the airway. Remember, 2 fingers, 1 hand on the forehead, 2 fingers underneath our chin. And we're going to lift the chin up and open the airway. Open this bit, because you move the tongue out of the way. This thing here can fall down the back of the throat. So we must move it out of the way. And then we're going to look, and we're going to listen, and we're going to watch their bellies going up and down. Okay? Now my belly might be rumbling after Ellie played that silly April Fool's joke on me, but hopefully your teddies or your parent, your carer, your siblings' belly will be going up and down. Now I know we did this in star 2, but some of you are new on, so I want you just to count how many breaths either you do or your casualty do from when I say go. Because we need to count this for 10 seconds, okay? Excuse me. So we need to open the airway, and either you can count your own breaths, or you can count, if you've got a casualty on the floor, you can count their breaths. Are you ready? We're going to count the breaths starting from now. And stop. How many breaths did you get? I know, because I'm an adult, I know, I got round about 3 breaths. So my belly went in and out 3 times. How many did you count, Ellie? I know, Ellie, you're younger than me. She likes to point that out. So she's younger than me. She's probably the same age as you, which is why sometimes she can be a little bit naughty. So she managed to count 6 breaths that she did this time. And if you were counting a little baby brother or sister, they're probably going to be around about 10 times. So what did you guys get? Okay, so if you're trying to wake somebody up and you can't wake them up, remember we shout for help, we open the airway, and we look to see if they're breathing. And if they're breathing like you've just seen just now, then that's okay. If they're not breathing like that, they're going and they're making funny noises, then we need to call 999 straight away. And we need to do CPR like you learnt in star number 2. But you have to be very brave when you do that. Right, Now this person is breathing. Great news. They are breathing. But we don't want to leave them on their back like that. Ellie just said, why not? Well, if we leave them on their back like that, their tongue, have a look, the tongue's fallen down the back of the throat again. I'm just going to show you a photo just so you can see. Here, do you remember the tongue here has fallen down the back of the throat? If we open the airway, then it moves the tongue out of the way. So you can't leave them on their back like that, Ellie, because the tongue's blocking the airway. So we must put them on their side, okay? But we need to make sure they've got no ouchies. Because if they've got an ouchie, we need to shout out, code red. You should remember that from star 1. So let's check them all over, Ellie. Let's check their head. Yeah, nothing ouchies there. Let's have a look at this arm. Any ouchies on this arm? No, it's all okay. This arm? Oh, no ouchies there as well. Okay, let's just check their pockets. Make sure there's nothing in there. If they had something in their pocket, we would take it out and we'd just leave it here. Because we don't want them to lean on it because it'd be very sore. Then we're going to check this leg, Ellie. Good, and this leg as well. Is there any ouchies? No ouchies. So therefore we can move them. So you go over here, Ellie. Thank you. And we're going to move them in what we call the recovery position. Now there's a little saying to help us remember what to do here. It's going to go, please miss. You know when you ask a question in class and you put your hand up like this? Well, this is what I'm going to do. So she's going to say, please miss. So this hand here is going to come and ask a question. Now, unfortunately my doll doesn't bend, it only goes like that. But imagine he's asking a question in class and imagine I'm trying to bend his arm. And if you're practicing on somebody on the floor, try and get them to bend their arm like so. If they can't, just put it out to the side like I have. So please miss. And then you need to lean over them. So you should be deciding who's on the floor first and who's going to be me, the first aider. Okay, so one of you's on the floor and the other one is the first aider. The arm should already be out to the side like this. You're then going to lean over them like so. And the next bit of the saying is hold my hand. So I'm going to hold their hand. I'm going to link my fingers in their hand like so. Just like that. Okay, and I must hold it because if I let go, oh, that hand will flop back down to the floor again. So this person must pretend to be really floppy. Okay, so I must make sure I'm holding this hand. There we go. Holding the hand like so. And then I'm going to gently give them a pillow against their cheek. So give them a pillow. So it's, hi miss, please hold my hand and give me a pillow. So I'll give them a nice pillow. And then this one is going to say, lift my knee up. So I'm going to lift their knee. Oh, this is the hardest bit because the legs are heavy. Oh, lift their knee up. That's it. I'm going to push their foot as close as I can to their bottom. And then the last bit is roll me over. So I'm going to push the knee and roll them over. Don't show their bottom though. There we go. So roll them over like so. Now this knee needs to come up at 90 degrees. And they should be lying on the hand, which is their pillow. Now my doll's not very good at being relaxed, so I'm just going to quickly come and show you here on the floor exactly what I mean. Okay, so it should look like this. Oh, excuse my belly. There we go, like so. Okay, so the head should be open like that, or the airway. They're lying on their hand, because that's their pillow. This hand here is a please miss hand. And my knee is up 90 degrees, so that's what it should look like. So let's just try that again to make sure you're all doing that properly. Yeah? So let's try that again. So roll your cow sheet back over. There we go. Be all nice and floppy, please, Mr. Dolly. Thank you. Right, Ellie, are you ready to help me? So you can change over if you want to. The other person gets to go. So the very first thing we're going to do is doctors, A, B. And then we're going to do C later. Okay, so we're checking the air for danger. Checking for response. Hello, can you hear me? Wakey, wakey. Give them a bit of pain, make some loud noises. Help, help. Then we're going to open the airway. Ellie, go over there. Open the airway. And we're going to count for breaths. Now I'll tell you when to start counting. Are we ready? Start counting now. And stop. Hopefully you should have felt them breathing, heard them breathing. But also seen their belly going up and down. Great news, they are breathing. So now we're checking for all those ouchies down the arm, down this arm. Check their pockets. If there's anything in there, you're going to move them out of the way. We're going to check ouchies down this leg and down that leg. Oh, no ouchies. Oh, that's good. So now we put them in the recovery position. So it goes a little bit like this. Please, miss. Oh, hello, miss. Hand goes up to the side. It says, hold my hand. Okay, I'm holding the hand. Make sure you hold it and give me a pillow. So that means put the hand next to their cheek, like this. And lift my knee. Oh, lifting their knee. Push their foot next to their bottom, all the way over. And then push their knee. Over they go. Oh, keep seeing their bottom. There we go. All the way over, like so. And then we must make sure we open their airway. And there, they're in the recovery position. And what does the C stand for, Ellie? Can you remember? Oh, Ellie, can you remember? Yes. Now we must call 999. Remember, when we call 999, we must tell them where we are. Well, we have to say where we are because the ambulance, they don't know where we are. So we must make sure we find out where exactly we are. And remember, in Star 2, we talked about what to do if we don't know where we are. We must run into a shop and ask them, or we look see if we can find any road signs. Or, if you live outside London in the countryside, there's this very good app. It's called 3 Words. And if you download that and have a look at that app before you call the ambulance, it will give you 3 words that you can tell the ambulance drivers. And they will be able to know exactly where you are because those 3 words turn into a grid reference. And hopefully you can look up what grid references mean later on. Maybe you can do a treasure hunt around the house. So if you're outside London, you can look at the app called 3 Words. Okay? But if you're in London, you need to find out where you are. And then you must tell them what's happened to the casualty. So we would say, Ellie, help, I live in Bromley and I found someone unconscious, but they are breathing. So we must say where we are, and we would give them the full address, and we tell them what is wrong with that casualty. Okay, Ellie? Right, so hopefully you've had a go at that, and you've both had a go, but you can always practice this lots more today as well. Now I'm going to make it a little bit harder for you. I'm going to say, what do we do then if we come in the room and we find someone in this position, like so, someone that is face down? Because not everyone's going to be looking like they're on the bed, on their backs. This time they might be face down on the floor. So what do we do then? Well, we do exactly the same. We still do danger, response, shout help, airway breathing. Okay, so we check the air for danger. We check for response, and Ellie, you can help me. We check for a response, and we go, hello, wakey, wakey. Get hold of their ear, get them a little bit of pain. Okay, no response. So we go, help, help. And then we now look and see if they can breathe. So we get nice and close to them and see if they're breathing. Or, if one of you lays on the floor, the other person should be able to see their back going up and down. Go on, have a look. So if you get one of you to lay on the floor, or your parents and carers, one of you lay down, and the other one look and see if you can see them breathing. Or see if we put your hand underneath their nose. You might be able to feel them breathing. Have a look, see if you can see. Remember, we're going to count this for 10 seconds. Ready? And start counting their breaths now. Good, stop there. Well done, Ellie. We counted 2 breaths on that person. How many did you count that time? Okay, so they are breathing. Fantastic news. But if they are breathing, we don't want to move them because we don't know how they got there. So if we know they're breathing, we are going to leave them there because they might have hurt themselves, and we don't want to make it worse, do we, Ellie? No. Now this is the very important bit. If you can't see them breathing, if you don't know that they are breathing, we're going to have to turn them over. Ellie said, I can't turn them over, they're a bit heavy. Well, I'm going to show you a very easy way to turn them over, Ellie. Okay? So if we can't see them breathing, we're going to have to turn them over, and we're going to make them into Superwoman or Superman. or super anything, it doesn't matter. But you must try and turn them over if you can't tell they're breathing. Okay, so it's very important. So we're going to assume we can't tell they're breathing. So I'm going to show you what to do, Ellie. Okay, you go over here. So we're going to make them into Superwoman or Superman. So that means the arms are going to be above the head like so, like they're flying through the sky. But please remember, when you do this with each other, the arm doesn't just come over the top. You'll end up hurting them. It comes around the side and up at the top like so. And this arm will do exactly the same as well. Around the side and up at the top like so. Good. Now make sure the head is looking away from you. You can turn the head gently if you wish to. Then you're going to grab the solid bits of the body, the big solid bits, so the hip bone is nice and solid, and the shoulder bone is nice and solid. These bits here are all floppy in the middle. My bit's more so than yours, but here and here. And you're going to move your knees out of the way so they can roll in this space. And this is the hardest bit. You've really got to pull. So you're going to 1, 2, 3, heave them all the way over until they're against your legs. And then you're going to catch the head. Woo! So the head doesn't bang on the floor. Then you can put the arms down, like so. And then you can open the airway and you can check their breathing properly to see if they are breathing. Remember, we're checking for 10 seconds. Oh, thank goodness, they are breathing. But we can't leave them like this, can we? So we need to do a quick check for any ouchies. Make sure there's no ouchies there. And then we're going to put them in the recovery position. So it goes, please, Emily, please, miss. Hand up. Hold my hand. I'm holding your hand. I'm going to give you a pillow. Give you a pillow. I'm going to lift your knee. And I'm going to push you over into the recovery position, like so. Oh, keep showing your bottom. Like so. There we go. And this is when we call the ambulance. And we tell them where we are. And then we tell them what has happened to the casualty. Well, I'm just going to come and sit over here with Ellie. Just have a little chat to you. Just to make sure we recap all of those things, okay? I'm just going to make sure she's okay up here. You are okay. You're still breathing. And we keep checking their breathing all the time. Perfect. Okay. Now, we should remember we do a danger response, shout for help, open the airways, check their breathing. And if they are breathing, we make sure they haven't got any ouchies and we put them in the recovery position. Then we call CPR, we call 999. We don't do CPR, we call 999 when they're in the recovery position. And remember, if you find them face down on the floor, then we must make sure we check their breathing. And if they are breathing, we keep them there. But if they're not breathing, Ellie, we have to turn them over, making them into Superwoman or Superman. We turn them over and we check their breathing properly then. And then we can put them in the recovery position. So I want you guys to be practicing that on each other, on your parents, your carers, on your siblings. And just try and make sure if you are the casualty or you're pretending to be, just be really floppy. Don't be stiff, just be nice and floppy, just so you can practice. And remember, if we find they're not breathing, we call 999 and we start CPR. If we find an ouchie on them, Ellie, what do? Yeah, we shout out code red, and then we need to make sure we deal with that. Right, well done. That is start number 4 completed. Thank you so much for listening. We've got one more star to go.